Hello, and today we got former Hibs and Motherwell player Michael Weir. Hi, Michael. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Angus. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Let's start off. What was your first memory of playing football?
My first memory for playing football was as a young boy. I played lots of football down the park with my friends. In those days, Angus, we'd play from about 8 o'clock in the morning till 6, 7 o'clock at night. That was the earliest memories. And then getting involved in a football club. I was reasonably young at the time, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to go and play football when I was younger because I had other things to do. But that was my earliest memories.
What was your first grassroots club?
My first grassroots clubs was Pilton Sporting Club way back in the day when it was a strange one actually. One of my friends just came to the door, knocked on the door and asked if I wanted to come and play football because there were a man or two men doing or whatever. And I said, yeah, I'll come in. And that was
What was
me.
your What was your first position?
My first position, I always played up front. I played as a striker when I was really young. Always played up front, probably because I was too lazy to play in the midfield or whatever. I don't know, but, and then they realised I was too small and put me back the pitch. But no, my early days was I definitely played through the middle as a striker.
What was your first professional club you signed for? Who did you get scouted by?
I got scouted from to Hibs. I went to Hibs as a young man. I played with Portobello Thistle in Edinburgh. And I got asked to go and play in a trial game, a one-off trial game at Easter Road, which was Edinburgh schoolboys against a Hibs select. I got selected to play for Hibs and did okay. Obviously did okay in the game, and then a day later, Mr. Pat Stanton called me and asked me if I'd like to sign a contract with Hibs.
It's great. Can you remember your first game, your debut?
My debut for the first team was, believe it or not, I played at Airdrie, and it was I think it was a League Cup sections at that day, in 8 days, and I played at left back as a small left back. It was actually just one out of the blue. The manager asked, there were players struggling for players who had been injured or whatever, and asked me if I could play at left back, and I said, yeah, I'll play wherever.
Did you win?
I can't remember, to be honest. I think I must have done okay because I was then back in the first team for foreseeable future. So yeah, it was a left back and I did okay.
Who's the best teammate you've had in terms of like being your mate?
Well, I've got a lot of good friends in football. Well, I think I've got a lot of good friends in football. You asked me. Obviously, but Keith Wright, I had a good relationship with him. But honestly, Angus, I've got a lot of people. You know, I would be here all day speaking about the people, friends I've got in football. But more recently, probably Keith Wright, Paul Kane, Gordon Hunter. I could go on the line. I'll be here for another 10 minutes because I just like to meet up with the boys and have a chat about football, you know. And you don't know me, Angus. Once I get started talking about football, I can talk all day.
Yeah, similar here. Who's the best teammate you've had in terms of ability? Like one that stood out for you and was like, wow, that he's a good player.
So many, Angus. You know, I've been asked this question so many times. So many good players I've played through my time, both at Hibs and in England. And I don't want to offend anyone to say, oh, he was somebody. But if I was going to throw one at you, I always said that the best technical player I played with was probably Steve Archibald. I never played with him for long at Hibs, but when he came to Hibs, he was a superstar, really. You know, he played at Barcelona, Tottenham, and Aberdeen. He'd done it all and had the T-shirt type thing. So when he came to Hibs, he was one I looked at and thought, you know, he was a very, very good player.
Who's the worst teammate you've had in terms of playing pranks and stitching you up, that sort of thing?
Loads of them. Well, back in the day, we had a few. When we were on the ground staff at Hibs as young men, there was so many. But I wouldn't say there was one specific. I think we were up to it, to be honest. We were up to doing stupid things, you know, because once we finished our jobs, we had lots of time on our hands, so that's when all the stupid stuff came out, you know. But there was so many of them, both the both on the park and off the park, you know. So it was one of those ones. But no, I couldn't really give you a particular person, but there was a lot of them.
Any examples?
Examples of things that go up to. Well, I remember being at Easter Road, and I was just telling a story the other day there actually, and the groundsman old Alec, he used to give us a wee bit of abuse, you know, because if we didn't do our jobs right, he was the groundsman. So one day we set him up and we put some grit in his tractor as we were cleaning the stands, and it backfired on us a wee bit because the tractor blew up and the oil went all over the pitch. And it was just nearly before the first game of the season, so we got ourselves in big trouble. But we had a wee bit of fun with Alec, and he was a great old guy. But at that time, he was tough with us. But yeah, we played a few pranks on him.
Yeah, that's great. What's the best stadium you've played in?
Oh, there's a good one. Best stadium. I played in a lot of good ones down in England, you know. I would probably say Birmingham. I played in Birmingham's just been a sort of new ground, and that was fantastic setup. But obviously you've got your Parkhead and your Ibrox, and there's loads of other ones. But I would say that if I was looking at it, I think Birmingham was very impressive, because I say it was just a new sort of setup, and it was just the start of the really building really top class stadiums, and I think they were one of the first ones.
Yeah. What are the best boots you've ever worn?
The best boots?
Yeah.
Well, I had Adidas. I don't know what they're actually called. It was Adidas. I always went for Adidas, you know, and I played in. So basically because it was the only ones I could get in my size. You know, it was size 5 or something like that. It was Adidas. I always liked Adidas. I played with other boots and that, but always went back to Adidas.
Yeah. What are the best and worst kits you've ever worn?
Oh, best kit. You know, I played in a lot of good kits, you know. Obviously, I think the one, 1991 when we won the School Cup, was a great kit for the Hibs. But also played in a number of good kits at Luton as well. I always thought Luton had good kits when I played there for a short spell. They had a lovely white kit with orange badge and a beautiful, really nice one. The worst one was definitely at Hibs. We played with one that was at InSave, was the sponsor at the time, and it was just horrendous. I just look at it now and it's embarrassing. But a lot of people like it, unfortunately, but me, I didn't like it at all. It was just wasn't never the same classes, because normally the Hibs tops were quite good, but that was a stinker.
Who's the best manager you've had?
Well, I've been fortunate to work with a lot of good managers, you know, and they've all got their own traits. Everybody, you learn off everybody, Angus, in football, you know, and managers. Alec Miller at Hibs, a great tactician, knew the game really well. I learned probably most of him in terms of the game. And I worked under Alec McLeish at Motherwell, was good, great motivator, great team talks. Got you up for a game, very, very good. A small spell with Jimmy Nicholl at Millwall, same again, good motivator. So I mean, you take parts of everybody, you know, and I think that's the only way to look at it, really. I wouldn't say there was a standout. I think everybody, I tried to learn off everybody, Angus, you know. Yeah. That's why I got involved in coaching. I tried to learn off everybody.
What was your worst performance on the football pitch?
Oh, there was a few. But the one that sticks out to me, bad performance, was I played against Rangers at Easter Road, and I was absolutely horrendous. I was horrendous that day, and I just didn't feel myself. I felt really bad, terrible. Went home and felt really weak and things like that. And I thought myself, I just didn't feel myself. You know, I felt really bad. And then about 2 or 3 days later on, I actually went down with glandular fever, and it put me out of the game for a long time. But that was probably the game that got to me, you know, because I went home and I knew I'd absolute stinker. I was just no energy.
Yeah.
I was glad to find out that there was something going about, something that wasn't right with me at the time. But that was the one that always lives with me. Just simply because I went and had a bad spell with glandular fever right after that game.
Did you manage to win the game? Or?
No, but I think we got beat, and the manager blamed most of it on me. So, and rightly so, because I was poor. But as I say, it was excuses. I never came out and told anybody that. I knew myself. I had had a bad one, but there was a lot more, Angus. Trust me, there was a few more. A lot more.
Who was the last club you played for?
Last club I played for was Motherwell. Finished my career at Motherwell. I think I was around about 31, 32, and I was having real problems with injury. My back problems had got worse, and eventually just had to give the game up. I knew that I couldn't train every day, and I wanted to get into the coaching. I was asked to go into the coaching side, which I took the opportunity. But it was at Motherwell. I loved my time there, but I just knew there was one particular game I played against Aberdeen. I fell on my back, and I never recovered from it, to be honest. And I knew that when my time was up, it was a horrible thing to happen to you, but that was the final club I played with.
Did anybody else know about your retirement before you fully announced it, or was it just after the
No,
last game you played? Or?
No, really. I went home and I just had a good think about it, because at that time I wasn't training. I couldn't train every day, and to play at the top level, Angus, you need to be able to train every day. And I always like to be proper fit, and I knew if I got to keep struggling like this, there's no point in going on. And it was hard, very, very difficult to get up the career, but I thought it was for the best, and I think the supporters thought it was for the best as well.
Just finally, to end on, when was the last time you had to pay for a ticket to go to a football match?
Oh, last time I played for a ticket. Actually, it was to pay in to watch a game. I went to. I kind of watch a couple of junior games. If I'm not involved, if maybe I can't go to Easter Road to watch the Hibs, and I go in, I pay in and watch the games. So I've done that quite regular, actually. Seen some good games, but in a big game, I think I could be. The last time I paid to get in was actually Manchester United against Liverpool at Old Trafford.
Right.
Way back in the day when I couldn't get a ticket for it, and I was lucky to get a phone call to say, if you give me some money to buy the ticket, I'll do it. So I did it, and the game was absolutely horrendous. So that was my memory of paying into a game, yeah.
That's great. Right, that wraps up. It's been a pleasure having you on, Michael. Thank you.
No problem, Angus. Thanks very much.
Thank you.